Hey everybody, it's Matt. Wrestling with Whiskey is back. Brand new show, straight shooting. You get the pun if you're a wrestling fan. If you don't, nobody cares. It's all right. This is a show where I invite my wrestle friends and other folks in the world of wrestling and entertainment on to share in my love of whiskey, whether they love it or not. We'll find out. That's kind of the episode of the show. And to just catch up with some awesome people. Today, the debut episode, the guinea pig episode. Fellow Matt here, Matt Cardona, the Broski himself. Welcome to the debut of Straight Shoot.
I am honored to be the debut guest. I have a couple of bones to pick with you. Sometimes I go through my Instagram, tag photos and stuff. I saw a little video. You called me out publicly about something. I took a little, I don't know, okay, my hair, talk about hair and hair products.
Yeah.
Kayfabe, brother. I know you got to respect the business, brother. Kayfabe, brother.
Dude, check out the YouTube channel. Kayfabe is dead. I posted that one the other week. It's gone, brother. Live with it. No, it's true. I did. I put it out there. But I was going to bring that up too. It wasn't in my list of things to talk, but that's true. Well, look, I tell the story. I put it on my YouTube channel and everything. Why I gave up the fight, as you like to put it.
Never.
But you, yes.
Good fight.
That's what I just did an interview with Gregory.
John Cena says it best: never give up.
You refuse. Like you've had some hair things you've been fighting with, but you look good right now. You are keeping up the fight.
I'm a professional. I'm always ready in the ring and with the hair.
Oh my God, we're already on the gimmick. Okay, good.
Yeah. It's not a gimmick; it's a lifestyle, bro.
Well, okay, then on that topic, are you still using the powder?
Hey, listen, a magician does not reveal, how he does his tricks. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, we'll watch the next time you take a bump. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get into this, you were saying this is kind of a weird way for me to start this because, as far as I know, you are not like a whiskey fan, like at all, right?
Not at all. Like gross. Yes. I hate it. I hate Jack Daniels. That's whiskey, right?
Yes.
Okay. I hate Jack Daniels. If I smell it, like even if I think about the smell, I could vomit. So I might puke. He's gonna puke. I might puke right here today. It's not my thing. When I was like 18 or 19, I went to a bar, underage kids don't do that. And I was drinking Jack and Coke. I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. It tastes like Coke. And I was just drinking them all night. And the next morning I woke up like face first, covered in my own vomit. And ever since then, I just could not handle whiskey. Back in the day, kayfabe is dead, so we could tell the secrets. Like all the boys used to drink, and not that there was hazing going on when I was in WWE in the beginning, but you were not forced to drink, but forced to drink. And the drink of choice was Jack Daniels, and taking just shots and shots at Jack Daniels, and I hated it. And you had to drink it. And I remember one time we were overseas, and we drank so much of the Jack Daniels that they had to go downstairs to get more. So it was like warm Jack Daniels. Like really hot Jack Daniels. I took a shot. I knew it was coming up. I tried to go to the bathroom, but I puked on the floor in front of everybody. Like I just can't do it.
In the bar?
In the bar. Like it was a hotel bar in front of everybody.
That's
like all over the floor.
That's big heat.
Yeah. They thought it was funny, but I did not. And it's
wow.
Ugh. I know you're a big whiskey guy. I see behind, I've always wanted to be like a nice whiskey or tequila guy, but I mean, maybe I will be after this episode. I know you sent me a couple bottles. I thought it was like, you were sending me your ages drug test. I didn't know what this was. There's I was going to say, you need to drink a little more water. You look dehydrated. But let's see what happens here.
I realize this because I have all these little perfectly curated glass sample bottles, but they were all, I either sent them off or they were full of other stuff and I'm like, crap, I only have these plastic ones, which I didn't even think about. Yes, look exactly like piss test tubes.
Yeah.
and then what I'm sending you, is like this dark amber color. Yeah, it was probably the worst, especially to a non-whiskey fan. That's a good way to intro you, but that's all right. So
I wasn't sure if it was a rib, I'm like, it's a rib. What is it? You sent me some piss?
Well, it still could be. I'm a pretty good actor. We'll see.
I mean, I know I'm a Simon Gotch fan, but you don't have to send me piss. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, him and I got the not as bad as you, but we got you got to drink whiskey on the road. It was not from wasn't the boys though. I got it from a backstage producer, to remain nameless, but at the TV hotel until 3 a.m. drinking Jameson, And
Oh,
then
that's another one. No thanks.
oh, I agree on that one. I'm a huge whiskey fan, and like I've learned to like the things I used to hate. But man, Jameson still makes me want to vomit at
Give
the
me a
smell
lemon
of it.
drop, a nice lemon drop. You know what I'm
Oh
saying? I'm
God.
35 years old. I want to drink what I want to enjoy. You know, I don't want to, like, if someone's at a bar and they offer me a drink, like whether it be a friend or a fan, whatever, like I'll decline politely because I want to drink what I want to drink. I don't care. You know, give me the girliest drink on the menu. You know what I'm saying?
That's so because like that is an epitome of like the whiskey culture actually is because
Right.
there are a lot of snobs, but there's a lot of people because it's whiskey, it's down home and family and country and all this. It's very kind of working class, and so people are like drink it how you want. So like when you asked me about ice. Oh, absolutely. If you want to load your glass up with ice, most people are very cool with that. But you're also probably going to get roasted in the comments for the lemon drop. So it's like this weird thing between snobs and like common everyday. Hear it for the people.
Sure.
But before we get into our first sip, just kind of catch everyone up and hell, even me. It's been a while since we chatted with what you've kind of been up to during this whole crazy year of pandemic. I mean, I remember when you were one of the first people out of our class of 2020 who kind of came out and said, look, while all this crap is going on, I'm going to respectfully decline most indie bookings and stuff like that because
Right.
it's not safe to do so.
Right.
So, I mean, with that kind of off the table, we saw you pop up a few places, but what have you, with all, between the major wrestling figure stuff and some of the wrestling appearances you did do, kind of just give us a wrap up of the last year or so.
Yeah. So, luckily we as in Brian Myers, Kurt Hawkins, and we had started the Major Wrestling Figure podcast in the summer of 2018. It was something that we presented to WWE and they didn't want anything to do with it. They said, no podcast. We see nothing in this. And it was a blessing in disguise. So we're like, all right, we're just going to do it by ourselves, Matt and Brian. And we were very smart to make it Matt and Brian and not Zach and Kurt. And even when we had merchandise, to not put like us in wrestling gear or show our faces. And luckily, when we got released, that was ours, because if that was a WWE thing, it would have been taken away instantly. So luckily we had that was, generating income for us. And, like, to be honest, with the pandemic, like, oh no, like no one's going to be buying figures. No one's going to be like wanting to listen to this, but it was the total opposite. Everyone was at home buying figures. People were buying tons of stuff, So like our podcast, I don't have the exact percentage of how much it went up, but it went up big time, and it really kept us so busy. And yeah, like I did some AEW stuff, some Impact stuff. I haven't done an independent show yet. I did a lot of like signings at toy stores and public appearances, stuff like that, because I want to keep busy and I want to, stay out there. I stay always ready, right? But the podcast has really become a full-time 24/7 job. Like every single day, I'm doing something for this podcast, which has become a podcast network. But it doesn't feel like work. You know what I'm saying? It's like every day I'm doing something, whether it be, on the phone with today, a TV producer, or if I'm packing up like 200 foam fingers out of my kitchen, every day I'm working on this podcast, but it doesn't feel like work because it's fun. And because, I see the big picture of what it can be. And I have no problem, putting in the work to see some results. And I have no problem failing. Some of the things we've done haven't been a hit, right? But at least we had the opportunity to try it. And that's all like we want is an opportunity.
Yeah. Okay. That's so funny that you say that. That resonates hardcore with me. I mean, that's kind of what I with this and with some of the other stuff I've been doing. Yeah, man, it's actually really rewarding. It's kind of like wrestling when wrestling's at its best. Like it's crazy work, but it doesn't really feel like that because you love the crap out of what you're doing and you're enjoying the time, even the crazy busy and and the missteps and the failures and stuff like that. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, like on paper, I guess, like from an outsider looking in, if you looked up my Wikipedia, 2020 was probably a shitty year. Like I got fired from my dream job. There was this global pandemic. I got COVID. My fiance had to cancel our wedding. So yeah, I guess that sucked. But in reality, it was one of like the best years of my life. Like I'd been wrestling full-time WWE schedule. Like I'm talking full-time schedule since 2007. So I was like, wait a minute, this is great. I'm home. I don't have to go wrestle. Like now, granted, I live in Florida. It's beautiful weather. So when I'm quarantined, I'm outside of my pool. I'm loving life. I'm living the dream, baby. So like, I thought it was great. It was, and then also like with WWE, I hadn't re-signed my contract that was going to be up in August. So like, I had this anxiety for like a year and a half. Like, am I staying? Am I going? Am I staying? Am I going? So when I got released and the decision was made for me, like this instant like sigh of relief and this anxiety that I didn't even realize I had, it was just instantly gone. And I just felt so like free, I guess is the word.
Dude, despite like you said, despite everything going on, literally, and that's been you all along, man. Like you, without blowing too much smoke up your ass, like
blow it, baby. Let smoke, baby.
Yeah,
That's
who am I talking about? No, like, I mean, an inspiration kind of like to me or like other people like that who you were one of the first guys to take advantage of this internet, digital, YouTube, all this stuff. I mean, God, that's really how you made your mark on the thing. So like, this is an opportunity now to take that to the nth degree. And so I think it's a great chance for you.
Yeah. And I really think like the sky is the limit. And I was telling you this, you know, off air, is like, you just put in the work and then like maybe, and hopefully it does take off, but you have the opportunity to try and you can bust your ass and hustle and do whatever you can to make it work. And there's going to be failures and not everything's going to be the best, but you can learn like along the way and you pick up things and just keep trying and build your, I hate using this term, build your own brand, but build your own brand and you're your own boss.
Yeah.
That's the best part about it, you know?
Absolutely. Well, cheers to that. And doing so, let's get that first pour. I think yours are labeled like 3, 4, 5. So 3 will be your first one. So let's go. I'm going to pour a little something with you. I'm drinking something different, but
okay.
I'm going to pour in my fancy glass here.
Is this a shampoo bottle?
It might to be. Those are sample bottles that I got from somebody else. So like, that's it, just you recycling.
3, guys. Do you see number 3? Number 3.
Yes.
So I put the whole thing in.
Sure. Yeah. And you don't have to drink the whole thing. You'll go through them each. You could just take a little sip or two out of each one.
Woo! Oh baby.
So this one will be different than the other two. I wanted to kind of ease you into whiskey, so to speak. So go ahead and take a sip, please.
A little sip. Okay. Do you think he's up? Is that?
If you want to. Thoughts?
I mean, it has to be. I mean, it's fine. I could do sips. There's no way I could do like a shot of this.
Well, no, I don't. I haven't done a shot of anything in 3 years.
Right. A little sipski.
Oh yeah, a little sipski.
I don't hate it. I'm not gonna say I hate it.
Okay.
I enjoy. I actually enjoy it. I guess. Like I could have a glass of this.
There you go. See,
is this called? What's it called with no ice? Is that like
neat?
What is it? Neat?
Neat or straight up, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, neat is typically how you would order it in a restaurant.
And typically, you wouldn't put ice. You wouldn't say whiskey on the rocks. Is that the slang?
Rocks would be the one. Yep. One rock, ice, whatever. But like I said, like the purists, like me, I don't like ice. To me, it dilutes way too fast, and I hate a watery whiskey,
especially if you're drinking it with sips. Right. I see what you're saying. It will melt.
And I'm a dork about it. I'm the guy who, if you've seen any of these videos or whatever, I'm sitting here for 5 minutes going, I smell cotton candy and leather and oak. Not on that one. You probably won't get cotton candy on that one.
I don't know what I smell.
I'm gonna edit it in so people can see what it is, and then I'll reveal it to you at the end. So I'll be curious, but you don't mind that one.
No, I don't actually. I don't mind it at all. And I don't know anything about whiskey. Full disclosure, I don't know if I like it because it's lighter. I don't know anything about this. So
right.
Okay.
It's
fine. Like if we had to have a glass of this, like I could probably sit and enjoy it.
And stomach.
But like take a shot.
Again, we're not about
right.
Us here and the people in this community, we're not about shooting. We're about tasting, trying to find something we enjoy. That's kind of the whole point. Okay.
I enjoyed that. That's something. Now, are you drinking this like with dinner? I don't know if I could do that.
So this is kind of one of my biggest bones to pick with like the whiskey community. And so that's as it's gotten more and more popular in recent years, people have gone out and like done a lot of like things like pairings, right? Like they do with wine, right?
Sure.
But wine is 8% alcohol. It can mix well in with a steak or fish or chicken, whatever. Right. It's not too powerful. I still contend. Now there are some exceptions, but a liquor starts at 40% alcohol.
Right.
That's more than 4 times
Right.
what wine is. And they go up, especially bourbon can usually be 90, 100, 120.
Right.
And so to me, anytime I've ever tried to have it with like, because people will have like a dry aged steak and a thing of whiskey. The whiskey is just, it's so strong. They just fight each other. They're both so big and strong. Now with like ice cream or like chocolate, something really, really sweet, like with tons of sugar, it can cut through.
Okay.
But outside of that, I don't think it pairs very well with a lot of foods. That's me. So no, I drink it either a cocktail before or I have like a drink at the end of dinner.
Yeah, I think I would have to do the same. Like if I'm eating dinner, whether it be a nice steak or a burger, I need to have, if it's not water, I need to have like a glass of wine or like a beer. Like I can't, like even like if I'm going out to the club or like a bar or something, which I don't do, but if I'd get like vodka water or vodka soda. Like I couldn't eat a steak with a vodka soda. You know what I'm saying? Like the vodka soda is more like, all right, let's just drink as much of this and get as drunk as possible and like consume the least amount of calories. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly. Right. Well, yeah,
I'm not enjoying. No, I don't think anyone's enjoying the vodka soda.
You know what? Well, yeah. I mean, vodka sucks. Vodka fucking sucks.
Right.
But I would say that there are very few people. There are like vodka connoisseurs out there. It's kind of crazy, even though it tastes like nothing. They are aliens to me. I don't care about that.
Well, they make all those like flavored vodkas. Like I've tried like cupcake, cotton candy. Like
yeah, of course. That
orange, all that stuff.
That Mickey Mouse crap. Smirnoff can suck it.
Right.
Well,
right.
Speaking of Mickey Mouse, we'll kind of move on. Obviously, the world knows. I know. We've talked all the times about it. Big Disney guy, big theme park guys, both of us, and everything like that. So you go to kind of in the liquor zone. The one thing I see you post about liquor is when you go to Epcot and you go to Mexico.
Baby. Oh yeah.
And you have some of the tequila or margaritas and stuff there.
Yes.
And there was a brand. Were you like sponsored or like were you doing them a favor? Because you remember you were tagging some brand at Disney like every week for a little while there.
Every week, come on, it's not every week. I do frequent the establishment in there, like La Cava del Tequila.
Yes,
it's a little hidden.
That's it.
Tequila bar that's in there. I say it's hidden because it's like literally like you have to go into the pyramid and then it's like hidden in there, but it's become with the internet and social media, there's always this crazy long line to get in there, you know? So what happened once when I first moved down here, like I couldn't get in and I was drunk and I tweeted something like nasty. And then I became friendly with like the people who work there. And now like every time I'm there, I'm like, oh yeah, I have like 6 people. I cut the line and stuff. But I have I'm not sponsored by any means. Trust me, I spent a lot of money there.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I was there about a month ago with 8 other people, and I was like not showing off, but I wanted to buy the round, you know, because usually we take turns going around the world. Like someone will get Paris, you know, or France, someone will get Italy. It was my turn. It was Mexico. So I got 8 margaritas, and then I saw they had the new rock tequila. So I got 8 shots of those. Trust me, I spent a lot of money on that round. That was it was like almost $500 for 8 margaritas and 8 shots of tequila. I was like, can we send this back?
Yeah, that's Disney prices,
it was great. It was worth it, but those theme park prices are crazy. And but yeah, I do enjoy going to these parks, consuming the alcohol. As a kid, I love the theme parks, but as a kid, you know, my parents saved up for years to go to these parks. I didn't know there was restaurants in these parks. You know, we'd be like eating the cheeseburger and the chicken tenders. You know, it wasn't until I got here and moved here as an adult. I'm like, wait a minute, there's like expensive, nice dress up like an adult restaurants here. And it blew my mind. And then the fact you can, as an adult, like drink, I was like, whoa, this is great. Like, you know, the Tower of Terror is cool, but imagine the Tower of Terror after a couple cocktails. Like,
but that's relatively new, isn't it? For a long time, Disney didn't have alcohol, I thought, at any of its parks.
So it's Disney World, like the Magic Kingdom. There's no alcohol in there. Like you can't go to like a kiosk or anything, but some of the restaurants now have it.
Okay.
That's what it is. Gotcha. Like you can't walk around like Fantasyland with a beer.
Right.
But the other parks have it.
I did. Well, so the other couple of years ago, I went to California, Disneyland, and they have actually, so like some of these, I'm trying to think actually. So some of these whiskeys, like I have a barrel club and you can pick like single barrels of whiskey. So it's not
Okay.
just the stuff off the shelf. You can like taste through samples of one individual barrel, and they're very, very unique. So Disney has their own program, and they've done a Knob Creek. And I remember somebody posted that. So like my first day there, before that we could even check into the hotel because the line was a mile long. I pulled Shaw, I pulled my wife into the bar. Like, we're gonna go to the bar, and I'm gonna see if they have that damn Disneyland Select Knob Creek.
Yeah.
And they did, and it was really damn good. So they're out there.
Wow.
They're picking barrels of whiskey now. So they've already moved up on my list. But what? So I mean, you're still going. How has it been like going to Disney and stuff during the pandemic? Do you think they've been doing well? Have you guys enjoyed your time there?
So we waited. Obviously, the park's closed. Everything kind of closed down. But then they opened back up. So Chelsea and I, we went to Universal. We went to Disney. Everything, we felt totally safe. I think they were, taking the necessary steps, with the social distancing and closing certain things. And it was so great at first because like people just weren't going. And then I think like word of mouth spread like how safe it really was. And now they're slammed. And like Disney has taken away fast passes. And now like I'm a snob, right? So like I can't wait in a line longer than a half hour. So it's like I don't even want to go unless it's Epcot because Epcot, you do the drinking around the world, but I don't want to go and wait on these lines. So it's like it's almost like too safe now. We're like, all these people are going, but like it makes me not want to go because I don't want to wait on the lines. And at Universal, you can still buy the express pass. So I prefer going to Universal because I'll pay the extra $100 to cut the lines. I'm such a snob.
I know.
Because I had that fast pass system down to a science. I knew not cheat the system, but work the system. And now that you can't do it, it's like, I don't want to wake up at rope drop to be the first one at Tower of Terror. And I certainly don't want to get there at noon and wait in a 50-minute line.
Yeah.
So I'm more of a Universal guy now because of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
The way the world has changed, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, when the fast passes come back, if they do, I'll go back. I'll jump ship,
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's pour sip number 2. Or for you,
different
4.
glass or same glass?
Ideally, different glass.
Okay, I have 3 glasses. I'm always ready.
There you go. What a pro.
Which one do we do? 5 or 4? Which one?
Whatever the next one is. 4, right? Yeah.
Okay, I'll do 4.
Yeah.
Showing everybody.
Numerical order. There you go.
Yeah,
There's the piss water. The nice brown pea water.
Oh, I can already smell this. Like
This one's a little different. Oh yeah, you'll enjoy this one.
oh.
Always ready.
I just close my eyes. I smell this. I just picture bad memories.
Yeah. Just
I don't even know if I drank this exactly, but the smell.
Yeah. Always
All right,
ready.
we're doing a
baby.
little sip.
Little sipsy.
Not for me.
No.
No.
What is it? What about it? If you could pinpoint it.
It's like an aftertaste. It tastes like I'm like eat my dog's bone, like a barbecue like flavored bone or something.
Okay. Barbecue's good though. People like barbecue.
Oh God. No. Like I barely took a sip. You guys are watching me. If I took any more, I think I would start gagging.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not for me.
Okay, that's fair enough. Good.
I think
good
I like
to
the
know.
light better.
Which makes sense to me, and you'll see why
Okay.
as we get to the end. That's fine.
Yeah, I
So
guess-
that is a flat out no way around it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Like if I like if I was at my fiance's like dad's house and he was giving this to me, like I would drink it to show respect, but I would hate it. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to the other one, I think I would like, oh, you know what? I'll have another glass.
Yeah.
This one I would like, what's the word? Nurse. I would nurse this one
Sure.
all night. You know what I'm saying? The
Okay.
other one, I think I could, have a wild night with.
All right. That's fair. That actually makes a lot of sense to me, actually. Speaking was really quick, by the way, interjection. How is wedding planning going?
Well, so our wedding, I guess, postponed, canceled, or whatever we want to say. We were supposed to get married on New Year's Eve, this past New Year's Eve. But obviously, with this pandemic, we realized kind of around August, like it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So luckily we canceled it with like, okay, so like she had the dress, we had the venue, we set up to save the dates, but we didn't like get down to the nitty gritty. We didn't choose, you know, what cutlery or what we didn't get like into those details. So we just knew like it's not looking good. You know what I'm saying? And plus her family is in Canada. So there's like all the different quarantine rules and stuff like that. It's actually gotten worse. We're now like, if you come from Canada to the US, I think you have to quarantine for 2 weeks. And if you go back, quarantine for 2 weeks. So like, we can't ask her friends and family to, you know, give up a month of their lives.
Yeah.
Right. So we've kind of, you know, we get asked this question all the time, especially by like family members, like, what are you going to do? Well, I don't know. We just got to wait, because I've had too many people, too many friends who've had to, you know, postpone. Like, I don't want to do that. So let's wait till this world kind of opens up and then we'll plan something. But I am devastated because my bachelor party, the idea was to go to Disneyland in California and do a VIP of Disneyland and the California Adventure, like with a tour guide, cut all the lines. And I didn't want to do that in Disney World. I want to do it in Disneyland. Disneyland is still closed.
I know.
So
it's a mass vaccination site, right?
Yeah. Could I do it at Disney World? I guess, but Disneyland to me, since I don't get to go there all the time, like that is like more magical, and plus it's the original, and they have rides over there that they don't have here. Mm-hmm. So that's always super cool. And they were supposed to open these new like Marvel things, which have been postponed. So it really fucked up my my bachelor party plans.
Oh, that sucks. But you know, like it'll happen.
Well, I mean, we have the. I proposed, like, you know, she has the dresses. We have the wedding ring, so like it's gonna happen. When, where? Now we don't know, but we'll figure it out.
Okay, you'll figure it out. Well, speaking of the other future, we'll kind of carry it back to wrestling a little bit. So I mean, as far as I know, unless you have something to reveal here to the world now, I mean, like you said, you made a couple of appearances here and there for both AEW and Impact. But as of yet, no formal contract or anything signed, right?
Yeah, I haven't signed anywhere. I had a little deal with AEW for, I want to say it was like 3 shows. I think I ended up doing 4 or 5, like, so 2 extra. And then I did my last AEW show in September. And like with the podcast, I just was so busy that all of a sudden I realized, oh my God, it's the end of December. I haven't wrestled. I haven't been in a ring. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, I should probably start like at least like going to like Breeze and Dillinger's school and like taking a bump or running the ropes or something, right?
Yeah.
And I told myself, all right, after the new year, I'll figure something out. I'll reach out to some people. And then like within a week or two, I got contacted by Impact. Like, hey, we have a pay-per-view tomorrow. Can you come? I was like, yeah, I guess. But like, fuck, I haven't wrestled since September. I haven't even been in a ring, but always ready. So I just went, you know, and luckily I don't know if it's fate or what, but I got a confidence tan like the night before, just because I was feeling too pale. You know, I need a confidence tan.
Yeah, too pale, huh?
Yeah, fresh beat and shape of the body. Got a confidence tan. I'm doing buys and tries at the gym. I get the call. I'm like, you know what? Always ready. I'll show up. So Impact has been great. But yeah, no contract or anything. Just kind of going and seeing what the deal is. And you know, I was in a relationship for so long, I didn't want to jump back into one right away. Yeah. So I'm not saying I'm opposed to a contract now, but definitely like, you know, July 18th, when we were like free, I was like, well, I don't want to just sign something. I want to enjoy life and see what's out there and go on some dates. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, I mean, so are there any other promotions or whatever that you'd like to kind of tool around in or try out?
I would love to really kind of do everything, you know, to try it all out, you know, New Japan, Ring of Honor. I know there's some independents starting back up. I'm doing my first independent show with like Hornswoggle Championship Wrestling, ACW, the Swoggle Mania. You know, as a favor, I'll probably get a hot dog and a handshake, but probably not. But like, you know what, I'll do it, and it's gonna be a fun match where I'm teaming with Hornswoggle and Brian Myers, like some sort of like major pod tag team match, because Swoggle's our kind of mascot. But then also, you know, for the Major Wrestling podcast, we do live shows, like live podcasts. It's more of like almost like a variety show. It's not just me and Brian sitting there on a mic for 2 hours. Like we have surprise guests, we do skits, but we had this idea to do a live wrestling show. So we're doing one on April 8th, and we're going to stream it and like attach it with like exclusive merch, because our big thing is merch, right? So like you get a free a pin, a trading card, this micro brawler, and you get the stream. So we're doing that April 8th, and it's really, really exciting. I think the fans are really gonna like it. We're doing it. Brian has a wrestling school, so we turned his wrestling school.
Okay.
We're gonna turn his wrestling school into like an arena, and there's gonna be no people there, but all our fans can watch it and stream it, and it's fun. And it was really fun to just, there was no people there, like there's not gonna be people there, but I just even just booking the show seems like so much fun. So I can't wait to actually do it and see the response. Like, listen, it's not gonna be WrestleMania. The quality, the video quality is not gonna be the best, but it's if you like our podcast, you'll love this show. If you don't like our podcast, you'll hate this show.
Yeah.
Because there's wrestling. Okay. It's a wrestling show, but we have like our characters involved and stuff like that. So if you don't follow the Major Wrestling Podcast, you're watching, you're like, who the fuck is this guy? You know what I'm saying? You're not, and there's gonna be inside jokes you don't get. So it's mostly for our podcast fans, but I'm sure there's gonna be like, for instance, the Micro Brawler fans who buy this just to get the exclusive Micro Brawler and probably won't even watch the show. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Money's money.
You got them. Yeah, I got their money, as we like to say.
Yeah, April 8th. The details are coming soon. We don't know exactly what time it's going to be, because I know NXT's doing like takeover. Listen, we're not going head to head with takeover. We'll do it before, but it's going to be April 8th. That is the date. And just stay tuned to our social media, and it's going to be really fun. And if this takes off, first of all, it might be a flop, right? It might be a huge flop, but at least we did it, right?
Yeah.
At least we tried. And we have a live podcast coming up right before Swoggle Mania in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And like Swoggle pitches like, oh yeah, you basically do my show for free, but you guys can do a live show the night before and make money. I'm thinking, who's going to go to our podcast in Oshkosh, Wisconsin? Bro, we sold out. Yeah. So it's going to be great. Yeah,
absolutely. See, it's that confidence, baby. Speaking of Swoggle, he actually just showed up on a friend of mine's whiskey podcast.
Oh yeah.
The podcast.
Did he pass out? Did he fall asleep?
No, I got to catch up on it. But from what I've ascertained, no, nothing of the sort happened. But I just thought that was kind of funny that to see him pop up on their show. That was pretty cool. All right, one more thing before, because I've thought about this one too. One more thing before we get to the final sip. So, with your time in WWE, give me one thing that you miss about the time there, whatever it is, and one thing you absolutely will not.
Oh man, that's a hard-hitting question. I really have to think about that. One thing I'll miss, I mean, I guess I will miss, like going to Madison Square Garden and wrestling like in front of like the people and in the arena that I grew up going to. There's no better feeling than, I'm sure, when you wrestled in your hometown arena. Yeah. It doesn't get better than that. So I will miss doing that. I will miss that for sure. Things I won't miss, being nervous if I'm wearing a hat in the airport. You know what I'm saying?
Holy shit.
Bro, this is a true story. I'm not even kidding.
I remember this whole time. Yes.
But so a couple months ago, this is still when WWE was filming in Orlando. So I guess it was a Saturday morning. I was flying out to an autograph signing. On my flight is John Laurinaitis, Johnny Ace. And he's sitting, first class. I'm walking past him. And for a split second, I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm wearing a hat. I'm going to get fined. And then I'm thinking, wait a minute, I don't work there.
Did you say hi to him?
Of course. Yeah, I love Johnny.
Okay.
Who is now the new talent relations. Well, they're going back. Like Bruce Pritchard in charge, Johnny Ace. You didn't see this?
No. He's back in TR?
He's back.
Oh my God.
He's back, baby.
Good for
People
him.
Power. People power.
One of your finest.
Right.
One of your finest moments. Hell yeah. All right. Well, let's get to the finale, the grand finale. Last pour for you, number 5, I believe.
I'm trying to think.
Fresh glass.
All right, fresh glass. Just making sure it's not empty. Showing everyone number 5.
That's right.
This looks as dark or darker than the number 4.
That would make sense, actually. Yep.
I can already smell it. Like, this is not for me.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Sip?
I mean, when you're ready, because you're always ready.
Horrible.
Better or worse than the?
Has some heat.
Yep. Better or worse than the second one?
Worse, definitely not. I mean, they both were not good,
Right?
in my opinion. I mean, I have.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yes, compare and contrast. I love it.
Now I feel like I have them both in my mouth. They both not for me. I'm not a fan of either. Ain't nothing against it if you are.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
It's just not my cup of whiskey, if you will.
Yes. So then, okay. So then, is it a clear out of 1, 2, and 3? The most palatable, the most enjoyable was the first one.
Yeah, number 3. I feel like I could have a couple of glasses of those. You know, these other ones, like maybe it's an acquired taste.
Right. Of course. That's part of it.
Not for me. No.
If you had to rank the last ones, 4 and 5 for you, if you had to kind of put
I would say
second
4 is better than 5.
Okay.
But they're both bad.
Gotcha. We're matter of inches and centimeters. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, so with that, here's the reveal. Okay. Again, the audience will have seen this because I'll put it up there before. But for you, so the first one makes total sense because the first one's not whiskey. I wanted to ease you in. So what I did, it is a tequila.
Oh, a mezcal?
No, it's straight up Corazon tequila. Okay. But it is aged in a whiskey barrel.
That explains why I liked it.
So this is from there's a pretty famous distillery, Buffalo Trace. They send their barrels down to Mexico to Corazon, which is the same parent company or whatever.
So you fooled me.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't drink tequila.
Yeah, I wanted to ease you in with something that you might be more familiar with, but which crosses over because it's aged in whiskey barrels. So that one, that one's like it's not super hard to find. I think it comes out a couple times a year. So for the second one, the slightly more palatable of the two awful ones is Elijah Craig bourbon.
Okay.
So again, but so
no idea.
Just to give some context.
Sorry, Elijah.
That's a bourbon that's on every damn shelf in the country. $30. You can get it. As a whiskey fan, it's a pretty solid option. It's super widely available, decent stuff like that.
Pretty bourbon and whiskey are the same thing.
Classic thing is all bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon.
Okay.
Bourbon is a specific type. Like Scotch is its own type of whiskey. Bourbon is its own type of whiskey.
Okay, so I didn't know Scotch was whiskey. I'm learning every day.
Yeah, you learn a little something every day. Yeah. But this is bourbon is a particularly American whiskey.
Okay.
So that's $30 on every shelf in America. And the last one, the least favorite by a millimeter, is Weller 12-year. Okay. And now this is like a whiskey bourbon fanatic cult hit.
And I hated it.
This is sought after and
whoa.
So I got I don't buy into the hype. It's rare to find. They get harder to find every single year. It should be $40 to $50, but because it's impossible to find and it has an age statement, which is becoming more and more rare in whiskeys, being able to actually tell you how old it is. I probably couldn't find this on the internet for less than $200 right now, a bottle.
Wow, that's wild.
It's different because technically it's a wheated bourbon, so it uses different ingredients than a regular bourbon, and so it's a little bit softer and sweeter. But this is exactly why I wanted to do this show, especially with people who aren't necessarily whiskey fans. This show, I'm like, this is too. I've seen people put these on the shelf for $400 sometimes, just because it's so rare to find them. And so to just have someone, it's like when you have a non-wrestling fan watch your match and they point out something you never even thought of. Sure. You're like, oh shit, that did look terrible. Nobody else noticed it. So it's always fun to get those opinions. I'm sure there will be people popping in the comments below. But that is exactly why I'm doing this damn show.
There you go, baby.
Well,
I have a question for you.
Yes, please.
I'm a big collector and stuff like that. I assume that you collect this stuff. Like, are there any that you will never open? You'll keep sealed, mint in box, mint on card, as they say.
Right. So
mint I think in bottle, MIB.
This is somewhere where I think the figure collecting and whiskey thing have a big divergent. Now there are a lot of people who do that,
Right.
but there's a huge there's a lot of people who are like if you're a real whiskey fan, you drink everything you own.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now I got a closet. I've got 150 bottles in here. Some of them I haven't opened just because haven't gotten to them yet. But there are some that I was saving for a while. Like I would wait a couple months after I got it, or I waited till like Christmas time if I bought it in June or something like that because it's a special. And then for sure ones that I only touch on special occasions. But I'm a big believer in if you buy it, I buy it to drink it. I'm not looking to. These are not investments to me.
Right.
There are people who do that, like with whiskey, with wine, with anything. It is. It's an portfolio to them and especially in today's market, the whiskey market is going like stuff you were able to find on every shelf less than 10 years ago is now going for hundreds, if not thousands.
No, I agree because I'm the same way with the figures. Like I don't buy them for investments. So I open them up. I like them displayed out of the package. I'm not banging them together and playing with them.
Right.
But there are certain ones where like, if I get it in my collection, I'm like, listen, I'm not buying this for an investment, but I'd be a fool to open this one up. You know what I'm saying?
I hear that. Yeah. There have been a couple that I will not flip them because I hate because I'm usually I've got like connections at liquor stores. Like I know people, so I can usually get them at the appropriate price. But there have been bottles where I could have easily bought it for 50 and turned around and sold it for 200 that day. But those people kind of have a bad reputation. Now, that said, I've held on to a couple and traded them with like friends or like Facebook group people where I'm like, hey, I've got 2 of these and I really want that slightly rarer bottle. Would you do that trade? And they're like, yeah. So that I'll do. But I hate people who jack up something that shouldn't be 10x the price and try to sell it off as that. So that's the only thing
I got
for me.
You 100%.
Well, that'll segue us into our last segment here, which is our Wrestling with Whiskey Barrel Club members, our Patreon patrons, got the exclusive opportunity to ask all our guests questions. This will be a regular thing. And I'll kind of move right into one of them right along those same lines. So the first one, Derek Hamilton, for both of us actually, said, what is your holy grail for you, collectible, and for me, whiskey? So you go first.
Ooh, so as in something I have or something I'm looking for?
I would imagine something like unless you think you already have what your holy grail of like figure collecting would be, or if it's still out there.
This is going to get kind of deep and nerdy, but so I'm into like pre-production wrestling figures, things that, were planned but never came out. So there was always this rumor that the Hasbro figures from the early to mid 90s, that there was going to be a final set, and that Diesel was going to be in that set. And for years, there was like this bootleg wrestling figure that was out there. And people thought that's the head, like the company got the head from Hasbro, and this is what the Diesel head was supposed to look like. Whatever. Years go by, and we find the real heads. I didn't find them, but like the internet, the wrestling figure community found the heads. And I was able to get the Diesel head. It kind of debunked that other head was not going to be a Diesel head. So this is it's clearly Diesel. And then after that, the original artwork popped up as well, and it clearly matches the artwork to the head. So I have the artwork and I have the head in my collection, and the figure never came out, but I'm wondering, like, is there a hand painted like Diesel figure somewhere? Because they have the sketch, they have the head. Is there like a hand painted Diesel figure? It's supposed to be on a Papa Shango body doing like the punch. Like, is that out there somewhere? I would love to know. So that would be my my white whale, my holy grail, whatever you want to say.
Okay, that is. Don't worry about getting nerdy. Like, you would be surprised some of the things grown men talk about in these whiskey groups.
Yeah.
So it's all about being nerdy. Really quick for me, Derek. For me, it's kind of funny. I'm a similar way. Like, there's a lot of rare bottles that come out each year, but for me, like, the holy grails they're not pre-production, but they're what we call like dusty whiskeys, like a bottle from 1962 that came out in like 1962, a bottle of Jim Beam from the 60s, or a bottle of Wild Turkey from the 70s, because that was like a decade where Wild Turkey was putting out some of its best stuff. And like they don't make it the same way anymore, and so it's just like it's vintage whiskey, if you will. And so you can find a lot of these bottles unopened, still sealed, and stuff like that. And those make incredible investments, but they're incredible to drink. So
What is like, let's say the Budweiser of whiskey? Like, is it Jack Daniels? Like the most like well known?
So it depends on where you are in the world. But overall, I believe, and my comments are going to catch me on this. Jack Daniels, I believe, is still one of, if not the best-selling whiskeys on the planet. But then there's also like Johnny Walker.
Right. That I've heard of.
Is one, because that's a Scotch, but that's been around a little bit longer and is a little bit more international. But like Jack Daniels, Johnny Walker, Jim Beam, like regular old Jim Beam white label is very, very popular worldwide. So stuff like that. Yeah, if you've Maker's Mark, if it's a brand that someone like you who's not a whiskey fan, if you can name it, it's probably one of the most popular.
Is there anything to like getting a bottle of Jack Daniels from 2021 and just then getting one from 2022 and so on and so forth, and then just holding on to it, and then 50 years you have that Jack Daniels from 2021?
Yeah, potentially. I mean,
because they're so like cheap, that's like, is there investment opportunity there?
I mean, yeah, 100%. I mean, you could do that. That's, if you think about it, that's probably the smart move. A lot of people going after these things, and these are really hard to find ones, which are, that's fine, but you're spending a couple $100. But yeah, you go and get this $30 Elijah Craig, you go get a $20 bottle of Jack Daniels, you just stick it in the back of your closet.
Right.
I mean, you're like with anything, you're going to have to, right now is a great time because, like I said, whiskey market in general is doing this, but it could do this and nobody gives a crap about whiskey again.
Right.
Like in the 90s, for example, nobody was giving a crap about dusty whiskey or like collectible spirit. Like nobody, because it was a low time for especially whiskey and stuff. So it had no value if you had a bottle from your grandpa's basement. But now, if you find one and it's in good shape, you could sell it for thousands of dollars kind of thing. So like with anything, it depends on the marketplace.
Well, the demand has to be greater than the supply.
Yes.
And the same applies to wrestling figures now and trading cards. It's like the boom right now is enormous. And will that bubble pop? I think certain bubbles will pop, but I think like in general, it's going to keep going up, 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 up. It might maybe dip down a little bit, but it's never going to go down to nothing in my opinion.
Yeah. It's never going to crash.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next question. This is from my dad. Wes, I was asking, what's your favorite move? What's your favorite wrestling move?
Favorite wrestling move? The radio silence, the old Rough Rider. It's my favorite wrestling move. My finisher.
Okay. You now? Is that 100% you, or did you kind of take that from someone or tweak it or anything like that?
Oh, I mean, I totally stole it from like this indie guy, Slick Wagner Brown. I saw Doug Basham doing it as well. I mean, maybe I slightly do it differently. Yeah, everyone has their way to do it, but the initial jump in the air, kind of do a leg drop on somebody. I definitely took from somebody else. Yeah, but I like it because it's like just something I can do to anybody. You know, like I hate hearing this. Like, well, can you do it to the Big Show? Well, I could if I had to.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it's kind of true. Ryan Mark wanted to ask, what would a Matt Cardona cocktail be and or taste like if you were to invent one?
I was the Long Island Ice Z, so maybe a Long Island Iced Tea redone, but no, I hate those drinks. I'm a big like espresso martini fan, especially like little after dinner drink. So maybe like one of those. I don't know. Like with dinner, I love a glass of red wine, but like, bro, if you gave me like a $5 glass of wine or like a $300 glass of wine, like I wouldn't tell the difference. I couldn't.
Right.
Tell. Like I don't know. Wine is wine. You know what I'm saying? Wine is wine. I've turned into an IPA guy over the past year or so.
Really?
Yeah.
You're gonna get into
the pops.
You're gonna get into the craft beer game. That's a whole
thing too. I don't know what's what. I can't tell you what I like. I can tell you if you give it to me, if I like it or I don't, but I can't express to you why I like it or why I don't. I just know, or yeah, it's good.
Yeah. And do you have the patience to give it to try to figure out that kind of stuff?
No, absolutely not.
I was just saying, yeah, you got enough going on already.
No.
For sure. All right. Dresden Nova, it's their screen name, wanted to know, did you ever fall out of figure collecting because you or someone thought you were too old for it? If so, what got you back into scratching the itch? And if not, what kept you going through that I'm too old for this gap until, you know what, I don't give a damn anymore. I want to do it.
Yeah. So I guess high school, maybe even junior high, probably high school. I got out of it, but I was still like collecting through my brother. So I was still getting everyone I needed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it wasn't a time to be proud of collecting. You know, you'd go into Toys R Us, or I'd go into Toys R Us and I'd ask for a gift receipt because I was embarrassed. And then like, it wasn't until I got into wrestling after high school, like when first year of college, get into wrestling, where I really stopped giving a damn what people thought, especially my idiot friends from high school, you know, especially people who weren't even my friends.
Mhm.
I just stopped caring what they thought. And that's when I really started getting the figures like for me. And like, I remember I bought the figures off my brother and then started recollecting and stuff like that.
Okay. Fair enough. Jay Galinsky wanted to ask, while you may not like whiskey, if you could sit down and have a drink of any kind or like a coffee, this is the classic question. Any wrestler, living or dead, who would it be?
Macho Man, probably. I would say Macho Man Randy
Ooh.
Savage. Yeah.
What would you ask?
Ooh, I'd ask him like, how come you didn't invent some topic in the 80s? You know, I could, or you know, because he just needed a little sprinkle. He just needed a little sprinkle. You know what I'm saying?
He gave up the fight. He shaved eventually.
He did not.
I mean, it was buzzed. It was buzzed.
When?
What? Towards the end of his like WCW run.
No, it's like slicked back. He's hiding it
Yeah,
even
but
more.
I mean, but it wasn't like he. I mean, he went short. No, he went short.
No,
I mean,
it's
not
slick,
shaved.
It's slick into a ponytail. He's doing the Harper, the pull back into the ponytail, covering the bald spot.
I swear there was at least a brief
You find me the
period.
photo. You find me the photo. WCW shaved head.
Not shaved. But I swear, like pretty close to like super short hair. Like there was nothing hanging off the back.
Photo, I'll chug this entire glass on the next episode.
All right, we'll figure that out. Fair enough.
It's pulled back into a tight little pony.
Oh shoot! You know what? You might be right.
I am right.
I don't. Of course you are.
Yeah.
I'm not going to question you on the Macho Man. Rusty Gloozing wanted to know if you're not a bourbon or whiskey drinker, what is your alcohol of choice? And do you feel you've given whiskey a fair shake?
No, I don't think I've given whiskey a fair shake. You know, I think I could. I've always wanted to be, I guess, Scotch is whiskey, you said, right? Like,
Yeah.
like have like a Scotch, like at night, like a little nightcap thing, like, you know, but I guess it's an acquired taste and I haven't really given it a shot. I'm not against it. Even like this stuff, I'm not like against giving it another chance. Just like knee-jerk reaction, just not for me. Like I'd rather just like drink like bottles and bottles of red wine or something, you know, like even like tequila, I could sip it, but it has to be the right place with the right people, the right tequila.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like the La Cava del Tequila in Epcot, like I've become very friendly with everybody there. So like sometimes I will drink it with them and like they know the good stuff, you know? So I trust them as opposed to, you know, going to a liquor store and buying some tequila and sipping it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. Fair enough. And then our last one from Eric Smith. He said, this is technically for both of us. But speaking of which, because the tequila bar at Epcot, it was the only time he ever drank tequila. He goes, has the three Caballeros ride. So if they made a whiskey themed area / bar, what characters would they use for the ride in that area if it was based around whiskey?
Oh, man. I don't know.
That's a good
That
question.
three Caballeros ride. Have you ever done that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's so bad. It's good.
It's
so bad. It's good. Whiskey ride.
So, yeah, who would show up on that? I feel like who's drinking whiskey out of the classic like Disney characters?
I'm stumped really when I think about that. I don't think the three Caballeros are drinking shots of tequila.
No, they're not. But it's just in the same area as the tequila
Right.
bar. So if there was like a whiskey
like,
bar in America,
where would be where? So would the whiskey be in America?
I would think, yeah, especially if we're talking about like bourbon here, a lot of people are on this page are big bourbon fans. That's what I was just thinking. It'd probably be in the America section.
Well, right now they have I don't know if you've been there lately, but they have like a barbecue Muppets theme restaurant in America.
Okay.
So maybe the Muppets.
Ooh, Miss Piggy.
Kermit,
I can see Miss
drinking
Piggy.
You know, Fozzie, you know?
And I can see Kermit not being able to handle it. And Miss Piggy saying like, drink up, frog.
Yeah, there
Something
you go.
like
There
that.
you go.
You
The
know what I
Muppets.
mean?
Yeah.
Or riddle me, hear me on this. I feel like, and maybe it's just because I'm a big fan of this kind of era of stuff, but like, go really old school, like Steamboat Willie, with with a little glass. Very old school.
I like that.
I think could have it.
That works.
But those are our questions from our. I think I got everybody. Yes, from our Patreon patrons, which wraps up the first ever episode of Straight Shooting on Wrestling with Whiskey. Matt Broski, thank you so much for being my experiment here. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, well, best wishes. I hope this show works out. I think it will. You found your little niche and just attack this fan base. And I think like if you just build this community up, it'll be a lot of fun because if it's all about having fun, right? So have fun, get a little buzz, and talk some wrestling or talk whatever. So it was fun being on, and the hour flew by. So thanks for having me. I'm sure I'll be on again. I don't know if I'll be drinking this stuff, but maybe I will be. Who knows? Maybe maybe you swayed me. Who knows? We could maybe see some evolution. But before we go, I mean, typical podcast kind of BS. Where can everybody find you, Brian? All the stuff you're doing, give them out. Yeah, my Twitter and Instagram is at the Matt Cardona, or follow at Major Pod Network, where I have so much stuff to plug. Just go to Major Pod Network and you'll see all the links there. Sometimes I have too much stuff to plug where I'd hire a social media guy because I couldn't handle all these social media accounts. So good problem to have. But so just follow us there, and FWF Live April 8th. Check it out. Hell yes. You heard him. Check it out. That'll wrap it up for this debut episode. We will have more folks coming. I will announce those in the coming weeks, but stay tuned. Always be trying new things, whether it's tequila, whiskey, whatever. And always, always, always be wrestling with whiskey. We'll see you on the next one.